Hello everyone. I am TV Sai Kalyani, Assistant Professor in Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, St. Martin's Engineering College. Now I am here to present a video lecture regarding PMMC instruments. Now what is PMMC instrument? PMMC instrument is nothing but a permanent magnet moving coil instrument. Now this instrument is useful for the measurement of DC voltages and DC currents. Now, before moving into the topic of PMMC instrument, let me first explain you what is a measuring device. A measuring device is nothing but that is used to measure the properties of the circuit or analyze the properties in the circuit. So, coming to the electrical circuit, we have current, voltage, power. Like this, there are so many parameters that are involved into our circuit. So to measure these quantities, we require a instrument. That instrument, we call it as a measuring instrument. Now why this measuring instrument is necessary? Because to analyze this circuit current, we require an ammeter, a device called ammeter, which will be measuring the current inside the circuit in terms of amperes. Similarly, if you want to measure an voltage, we will be measuring the voltage in the circuit by using voltmeter. So we require these kind of measuring devices for measuring our properties. So in this reason, measuring instrument is very necessary. Now coming to what are the requirements for essential requirements for a measuring device. For the measuring device to come into action, once we are installing or we are introducing the measuring device into our electrical circuit, the circuit parameters should not be altered. If we are including our measuring device into the circuit, our parameters which we are measuring, like the voltage, current, power, or anything, these circuit parameters should not be altered. And the second requirement is nothing but the power consumption by the measuring instrument should be very low. Nothing but once the device is being installed into your circuit, the complete power that is given from the power supply should not be consumed by the measuring instrument. The power consumption should be very low, because the remaining circuit parameters are supposed to be measured properly. Now, what are the different types of measuring instruments? First one is absolute measuring instrument and the second one is secondary measuring instrument. Now, what is this absolute kind of measuring instrument? It gives the value that is being measured in terms of deflection and a constant to be measured. That means it will be giving the value to be measured. That pointer will be indicating the value to be measured. Along with that, the constant, there will be a constant. For that, regarding that constant, we will be giving you the values that is being measured. Example, tangent galvanometer. Now coming to the secondary measuring instruments, these kind of measuring instruments will be giving the values that are being measured only in terms of deflection of the pointer. That means a pointer will be there. The pointer will be deflecting on a calibrated scale. Scale will be there. On that scale, your pointer is going to be deflecting such that it will be indicating the value to be measured. And what are the examples of such kind of measuring instruments? One is ammeter and the other is voltmeter. There are different kinds of instruments which we can be treated as an examples for secondary measuring instruments. Now, in the secondary instruments, there are again classification of secondary instruments can be divided into three. One is indicating instruments, the other is integrating instruments, and third one is recording instruments. Now, what is indicating instrument? It is a general basic measuring instrument which will be giving quantity to be measured only in terms of deflection. While coming to the integrating instruments is nothing but energy meter. See, our energy meter, which we are using it at our homes, it will be giving the value of energy that is being consumed by the consumer for a complete period of time. That means that complete period of time, I am calling the complete period of time maybe over a period of time which can be a month or an year or a day. So depending upon the period that is being considered for measurement, it will be taking the integration of all the inputs and will be giving you a output value of measured quantity. So the example is energy meter or a water meter, anything. Right. Now coming to the next third kind of classification is recording instrument. So this kind of instruments will be giving a quantity that is being measured. It will be giving a continuous record of the quantities that are being measured. Example, recording voltmeters or XY plotter. So if we are considering regarding electrical quantities, these are recording voltmeters and XY plotter. But if I want to explain it in a general terminology, we are measuring the earthquake. It will be giving in terms of a Richter scale on a graph. That means it is giving a continuous record of the measuring quantity, nothing but the variations of the earthquake on a paper. So these kind of instruments, we call it as a recording instruments, where the quantity will be giving in terms of continuous record of the measuring quantities in terms of a pen and a paper. Now moving on, what are the essential requirements for the measuring instruments? So there are, see, for a measuring instrument, we want our quantity to be measured. So for that measuring quantity, our pointer has to move from the 0 position to the final destination. So for these reasons, we require the pointer has to be moved. So for that, the pointer should be undergoing under the action of force. So for that, our force that are there are 3 types of force that are required for the pointer to move. One is deflecting torque and the other is controlling torque. The third one is damping torque. Now, what is a deflecting torque? The name itself says that the pointer has supposed to be moved from 0 position to the final position. So for this, we require a force. With that force only, the pointer will be moving from 0 to final position, from here to final position. So this kind of force can be obtained by different methods, but the basic method which will be, which is most commonly used method is magnetic effect. Which we'll be using for PMMC is nothing but magnetic effect. And the second kind of other method to produce this deflecting torque is nothing but thermal effect. Using thermal effect also we can produce this deflecting torque, and the other method is electrostatic effect, or the next one is electromagnetic induction effect. So these, depending upon the instrument, the deflecting torque method can be used. For PMMC, we will be using magnetic effect. For another kind of, see, if you are using an energy meter, we will be using electromagnetic induction effect. So depending upon our instrument, we will be having this magnetic effect and different kinds of methods. Now, coming to the controlling torque. Controlling torque, why is it necessary is, see, our pointer started to deflect from 0 position to the final destination. It started to move from 0 to the final position. Now, there should be an opposing force for the pointer to move from 0 to final position, because the pointer doesn't know where it has to stop. If you are measuring some 3 amperes of power, 3 amperes of current, so it has to move from 0 to 3. So it has to deflect. It started to deflect, but there should be some opposing force also, some controlling force. So it has to stop at 3. It should not move to 3.1 or 3.2. So for that, we'll be using and other different methods to produce this controlling torque. Now, apart from pointer to move to the final position, apart from that, the other usage why controlling torque is necessary is nothing but once the deflecting torque is removed from the circuit, that means the magnetic effect has been removed from the circuit, the pointer has to move back from final position to the zero position. It has to move back from final position to the zero position. It should not stay back there. Once the circuit supply is being removed, it has to move from final to the zero position. For this reason also, we require controlling torque. So controlling torque does two actions. One is it will be opposing the deflecting torque such that the pointer moves and stays at the final destination. Along with that, it makes the pointer to move back from the final destination to the zero position after removal of deflecting torque. Now, how these controlling torque can be obtained? There are two methods. One is gravity control method, and the second one is spring control method. And the second one is spring control method. Now, in this gravity control method, there will be two weights. One weight will be attached to the pointer at this position, and the other weight will be the counterweight or the balance weight. Once the pointer starts to move from zero to the end position, the weight that is attached here will start to move. And once this deflecting torque has been removed, the controlling or the counterweight will be helping the pointer to move back from the final position to the zero position. Now, again, the second method is spring control system. In this spring control system, over this pointer, there will be two springs that are attached. There will be two hair springs that are attached. Now, these two hair springs will be wound in opposite direction to each other, such that once the circuit is in operation, that means current is flowing through the circuit, the pointer starts to deflect from zero position to the final destination position along with the movement of the spring. Next, if the deflecting torque is being removed, nothing but magnetic effect in PMMC is being removed, then the other spring will help the pointer to move from final destination position to the zero position. So, this kind of controlling torque is necessary for the pointer to move from final to the zero position. Next, coming to the damping torque. What is this damping torque? Is nothing but the force. So, what is this damping torque? Why is it necessary? So, damping torque is necessary because the pointer is moving from zero to final position. So, it is in the inertia. It is inertia of motion. That means it's moving from zero to final position. So, once the pointer is being opposed at the controlling torque, what is happening? The pointer starts to oscillate. That because of the sudden opposition, the pointer starts to oscillate at the final destination. At this final destination, the pointer starts to oscillate. So, to make the oscillations very minimum and to make the pointer to rest at the final position very quickly, we require one more torque called damping torque. Another torque is required, we call it as damping torque. And the damping torque is provided by three methods. One is air friction damping. The second one is fluid friction damping. And the third one is eddy current damping. It is making your pointer to rest at the final position very quickly without any kind of oscillations, so that our quantity to be measured can be taken very easily. Right. Now coming to air friction damping. What is this air friction damping? Here to the pointer, we will be attaching a piston in a vacuum chamber. In a vacuum chamber, we will be attaching a piston. So once the pointer starts to move from 0 to the final position, the piston also starts to move in this vacuum chamber. And it will make the vacuum, it will make this piston will not allow the pointer, because of this attachment and force, it will not make the pointer to move or to make the oscillations a large oscillation. It will not make the pointer to make large oscillations. Coming to fluid friction damping, a viscous liquid is taken where the pointer is being placed in the fluid. So now we are discussing regarding fluid friction damping. Now this fluid friction damping is nothing but in the pointer which is measuring the quantity to be measured is placed inside a viscous liquid. So this viscous liquid will not make the pointer to move easily. So once the pointer, because of the torque or because of the current that is passing through the circuit, the pointer starts to move from 0 to the final destination. Now once the pointer starts to move, the inside this liquid, the pointer also moves. So once the pointer is moving, as soon as we are deducting this deflecting torque, because of the viscosity, the pointer will it'll controlling torque will also be present, making the pointer to stay at there. As we are removing the deflecting torque, the pointer starts to move back easily. But deflecting torque, what does it do is, because of the viscosity, the property of the liquid is viscosity. So because of this viscosity, the pointer will not be moving at the final destination, because the liquid will not make the pointer to move at the final destination. Right? So it will make to rest at the final steady state position or final destination. And the third topic is eddy current damping, or the third method is nothing but eddy current damping. So eddy current damping is here, the name itself says that we are using the eddy currents that are being produced inside your electrical equipment. So in this eddy currents, how are these eddy currents being produced is nothing but now in this eddy currents third method, we will be using a scale. The pointer is placed in the see here, the pointer which is placed over a spindle, and to the spindle we are attaching a disc. We are attaching a disc to this spindle. So once the pointer is moving from 0 to final position, the disc also starts to rotate, and here the disc is being placed in a permanent magnet, is under the influence of a permanent magnet. So what is happening, this conductor is moving, nothing but disc is moving in the influence of this magnetic field. So according to Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, we will be having the generating principle. The disc is under the action of generating principle. Along with that, it uses the value of Lenz's law. Now, according to Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, when the conductor is moved inside this permanent magnet, an EMF is induced in this disc. Now, this disc is a shorted one, is under the closed circuit. We have a closed circuit here. So what happens? Current starts to flow inside this disc. So these currents only we call it as eddy currents. It is nothing but leakage currents or less value of current. It is a eddy current. Now this eddy current, according to Lenz's law, there is a property that it opposes the force that is being producing it. So what is the force that is producing it? Because of the pointer, there is the disk is rotating, and this disk is rotating under the influence of magnetic field. So only eddy current started to produce. So this current will be opposite to the movement of the pointer, such that it will not make the pointer to oscillate at the final destination. It will make the pointer to stay there itself. So in this way, we are producing a damping torque for using eddy current method. So there are three types of torques: deflecting torque, controlling torque, and damping torque. Now, understanding these three torques, we'll move on to the PMMC instrument. Now, this PMMC instrument, as I've already told you, it is a permanent magnet moving coil instrument. That means the construction of the PMMC is done in such a way that the magnet that is used, see, this is North Pole and this is the South Pole. The magnet that is attached is nothing but a permanent magnet. It is a horseshoe shaped, U-shaped permanent magnet. Now, and the MC is nothing but moving coil. It is moving coil, which is nothing, which explains that the coil inside the magnet is moving, and to this coil we are placing a pointer. Okay, now what does it do? It measures DC voltage and DC current, and it uses the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, nothing but magnetic effect. It uses magnetic effect. So what is the principle of operation of this permanent magnet moving coil type of instrument? When a current carrying conductor is placed under the influence of the magnetic field, see here we are placing a current carrying conductor under the influence of magnetic field, this pointer starts to rotate. It will be having a force, it will be experiencing a force, and it tends to move in the direction of force. This coil starts to move, and once we are adding to this spindle, if we are adding a pointer, if the coil is rotating, obviously the pointer starts to deflect. So this is our principle of operation of the PMMC instrument. Now, as I already told you, construction, see here we have a permanent magnet, and over this, inside the permanent magnet, we have an aluminium case or aluminium former. On this aluminium former, we are wounding our coil, copper coil. Okay, so and we are on the spindle, we are attaching the pointer, and the pointer starts to move on the calibrated scale. These are our main components of the PMMC instrument. Now, the deflecting torque is being produced by magnetic effect. As I already told you, once the pointer is placed, moving coil is placed inside that current carrying conductor, we are placing a current carrying conductor, we are placing under the influence of magnetic field, it experiences a force. This is our deflecting torque. And coming to the controlling torque is provided by spring control system. As I've already told you, see, here we are having a spindle. On this spindle, we are having a pointer where there are two springs which are wound opposite to one another. Now, coming to the damping torque is being produced by eddy current damping method, which I have already explained. Now, moving further, the torque equation for the PMMC instrument. So, torque equation, B represents the flux density in Webers per meter, and I gives you the value of current that is moving through the moving coil, and K is the spring constant. Now, theta is the deflection of the pointer. Now coming to this deflecting torque, it is nothing but it is TD is directly proportional to the value of current that is passing through the pointer. Now so this proportionality is replaced by a constant which is multiplied by number of turns into flux density into length of the conductor, into the length of the conductor, and sorry, length and width of the area of the conductor. Now controlling torque is directly proportional to the value of theta. It is directly proportional to the value of theta. Theta is nothing but directly proportional to the deflection torque. Now we are replacing this proportionality with a proportionality constant K. Now the pointer at the final steady state position will now come to rest if and only if TD equals to TC. Nothing but deflecting torque will be equal to the controlling torque, then only our pointer will come to the rest position. So this is nothing but current is equals to deflection. Nothing but current is directly proportional to the value of deflection. So the deflection in a PMMC instrument is directly proportional to the current that is passing through the meter. Right? So this is our final torque equation for the PMMC instrument. Now, what are the advantages of this PMMC instrument? It gives accurate values for DC measurements. For DC measurements, it gives you accurate values. Now, it consumes very less power and it has more accuracy. Then it has high torque to weight ratio. Now, it can be modified as ammeter as well as voltmeter by adding suitable resistance. Now, it produces very less losses, less hysteresis losses. Now, what are the disadvantages? Coming to the disadvantages, the PMMC instrument will be only and if and only used only for DC supply kind of measurements only. It cannot be used for AC measurements. It cannot be used for AC measurements, and it is very delicate to changes. It is very delicate to changes. Next, coming to the third disadvantage, it is costly when compared to moving iron instruments. Another kind of instrument is nothing but moving iron, where the iron part inside the instrument will be moving, where here the coil was moving, their iron part is going to be moving. Next, it shows loss of whenever we have permanent magnet, once the permanent magnetism has been lost, it shows error in the quantity to be measured. Error in the quantity to be measured. And what are the PMMC applications where we can use this kind of PMMC instrument? In DC ammeter, in DC voltmeter, another instrument is galvanometer and ohmmeter. Now, what is this DC ammeter? DC ammeter is nothing but ammeter that is used to measure DC value of currents. Next, voltmeter is nothing but it is used to measure DC values of potential values. Here, galvanometer. What is a galvanometer? Galvanometer is nothing but we can even call this galvanometer as a null detector. We call it as a null detector. Why? Because our galvanometer is a kind of PMMC instrument where it is used to measure very low values of currents, or we can say that the current that is measured will be giving a zero. We can center zero form of for both directions of currents. So for this, we'll be using a galvanometer, which can even be called as a null detector. And ohmmeter is nothing but it is an instrument that is used to measure resistance. Right. Thank you for this. We'll be so we have understood what is a PMMC instrument and have to measure DC voltages and currents very accurately. And now let us see a video regarding this PMMC instrument. See, this is a PMMC instrument. Now, as I've told you, this PMMC instrument measures DC values of currents. See, we are having a permanent magnet, U-shaped permanent magnet, and this is a aluminium frame over which the coil is being wounded, and here we are having a spindle over which we are having hair springs where the pointer will be oscillating on a calibrated scale. Now, once the DC is being passed through this PMMC instrument, DC current is being passed to the PMMC instrument, our pointer starts to deflect using magnetic effect, and the see, this is magnetic flux. Okay, so our pointer starts to deflect using magnetic effect, and the hair springs will be providing the controlling torque, and the damping torque is being produced by eddy current damping, that is from the north pole to south pole. So now we have discussed regarding PMMC instrument. Now let us discuss, explain using a video. So this is our PMMC instrument. In this, it is clearly understood that you have a horseshoe-shaped, U-shaped permanent magnet, and this is our aluminium coil, aluminium frame over which we are have a coil is wound. Now our aluminium frame, if it is in the spherical, you have a rectangular shaped coil. Okay, so once the current is going to pass through this coil, our deflecting torque starts to produce, and you have the pointer to be moving on the calibrated scale. So as this is a permanent magnet, the magnetic flux will start to flow from north pole to south pole. See, this is your magnetic flux, and because of our magnetic effect, damping torque is produced, which is making the pointer to oscillate from 0 to final position, and the controlling torque is being provided by these controlling springs. Now see, when our damping torque is being created by eddy current damping, our eddy current damping is nothing but, see, this is our aluminium frame. Now on this aluminium frame, eddy currents are getting created, and this eddy current is making or creating a damping torque. Now the equation for deflecting torque, number n represents the number of turns, L represents the length of the coil, and B gives the magnetic flux density. Now let us see the equation for the deflecting torque. So deflecting torque, TD, is directly proportional to the value of current that is passing through the coil, and the controlling torque is directly proportional to the deflection of this pointer. So when the pointer will come to the steady state position, once TD is equal to TC, nothing but deflection is proportional to the current that is passing through this coil. So in this way, we have derived our torque equation for PMMC instrument, as well as we have understood the construction and working of PMMC instrument. Thank you, everyone.